It may sound crazy, but people have an awakening moment where they experience something that just clicks with them. Every synapse in their mind lights up at the correct moment to create a euphoria sensation. For me, that was watching Natsuhiro Egalde 1-2 jump for the first time back in 2011. While I had seen idols before through Idolmaster, that didn't really resonate with me. Yet, for some reason, this short music video did. Maybe it was the song, or the visuals, or the atmosphere, but ever since, I became a fan of Love Live. A large media project with multiple groups exploring the concept of school idols featuring fleshed out characters, bombastic musical numbers, and a community celebrating love. Solely due to Love Live, I have traveled to conventions, met familiar faces, and experienced once-in-a-lifetime moments. And when I was planning a trip to Japan, I knew that one thing would sit in the priority seat when I lived a Love Live holiday. Upon first landing in Japan, I knew I had to go where it all began, Akihabara, the setting for the first series following Muse. My planned itinerary started off with me visiting Kanda Myojin Shrine, a holy pilgrimage site for any Love Live fan. However, when I arrived at Akihabara Station, I noticed these girls band cry standees in an Idolmaster store. Then I turned left and saw it, the School Idol Theater, the official Love Live store. I dashed inside to grab some items limited to the location and snap some shots. My purchases consisted of a couple packs of the official Love Live card game, an acrylic stand of Sayaka in a cute Halloween costume, a watercolor standee of Setsuna with an umbrella, a 15th anniversary standee of Setsuna, and a mini stand of Sumire in a panda outfit. You can definitely tell who my favorites are from each series. Now, unfortunately, the store says no video or photos, but I didn't see that until I saw the sign leaving the store and felt embarrassed afterwards. After dealing with this traumatizing event, I jumped to Kanda Myojin Shrine as the first part of my pilgrimage to visit famous locations from the anime. And for more of those locations, you can watch my anime tourism / pilgrimage video right over here. Immediately after this, I went on a shopping spree, but my haul consisted little of Love Live. I got the latest issue of Love Live Days that had a bonus clear folder in bromide. Although it seems small, that is because I reserved a seat for the Collab Cafe at GiGO. To celebrate the franchise's 15th anniversary, a series of collab cafes and merchandise will appear throughout the year. During my visit, it was Aqua's time to shine. Additionally, they have birthday drinks and bonuses on selected days. I happened to be there during May's birthday, so I got her carbonated drink with grape and strawberry jelly, then ordered next sparkling curry ramen as the main course, with the 15th anniversary dessert plate for, well, dessert. May's drink reminded me of a fizzy bubble tea, and surprisingly I didn't hate the grape jelly, as I'm not a huge fan of that flavor. Unfortunately, the curry ramen turned my mouth into an inferno. I knew it was slightly spicy, but being the basic white girl that I am, I could not handle it, and I had to order a second drink based on my favorite Aqua member, Ruby. Hers is white grape juice with cherry jelly, and I think I was just glad it was soothing my mouth. After turning the temperature down on the ramen, I have to say I enjoyed the beefy broth with marshmallows floating inside. Many collab cafes specialize in creating decorative meals, and I heard people say the taste isn't pleasant, but I personally enjoyed it. Maybe I spoke too soon though, since, well, the dessert, I'll say I enjoyed everything on the outside. A soft chewy cake with icing dripping down, but filled with, I don't know what. I tried explaining it to friends, but they didn't know what I ate. In the middle of the dessert were red slices that had a white interior. I originally thought it was strawberry, but it didn't taste like that. I felt bad having to leave it unfinished, something many people said is frowned upon in Japan, but I couldn't stomach whatever I ate. They lured me in with the appearance, but whatever I digested made my stomach churn. Now, each drink comes with a coaster where I got Shika and Hanamaru, and since it was May's birthday, I also got a special postcard to celebrate. Meanwhile, the dishes provided a foil ticket, where I got Yo and Kanan. The latter is my second favorite, so I am glad to have got her. And I managed to get the special acrylic stand of the cafe design for Kanan as well. Ruby was unfortunately sold out when I went. Then, two of the chibi stands randomly gave me Riko and Ruby. I got both September birthday girls, so this made me ecstatic. Thus concluding my first day in Japan and Akihabara.
The next station is Odaiba.
The next day, I traveled to Odaiba, Japan's futuristic island housing Nijigasaki High. Of course, I visited famous spots that you can see in the pilgrimage video, yet my focus on this trip is to partake in the many collaborations. Nijigasaki was releasing its second film in the trilogy, and to celebrate, many locations in Odaiba partnered with the franchise, such as the Yurikamome line that connects Tokyo to Odaiba, which happened to be celebrating its 30th anniversary. Standees of the girls in rail officer attire appeared at each stop on the line, correlating with their number in the group. Of course, I had to disembark at the 7th stop for my favorite, Setsuna. Plus, special announcements featuring the voice cast could be heard alongside a stamp rally and audio tour. Unfortunately, the former would mail out prizes after submitting it, so I didn't dare try. Instead, I ran straight for DiverCity, one of the many malls on the island. My goal is at the top, featuring RoundOne, the arcade and sports center. It is one of the few in the country that has everything like bowling and karaoke. The school idol club collaborated with them where they had a gamer-themed pop-up shop and prizes in the arcades. Now, I was confused how to order my items because you had to use a tablet, and I felt like a stupid foreigner asking for help. Most merch, like the stand, was sold out, so I got a Setsuna towel and gamepad key charm. Then I got extremely lucky because my buyer's bonus gave me a bromide of Setsuna as well. But wait, my luck doesn't end there. I went up to the arcade where the standees of each girl appeared before me as I entered the gamer's domain. The collab items were acrylic panels, and I didn't want to risk it breaking on my trip back, so I skipped those and decided to go for Gumi, one of my favorite Pokemon. As you can see, I quickly got him in the upright position, but I decided to stop recording thinking it would be difficult, and immediately after I tossed him into the hoop. It cost me only 800 yen for this slimy guy. It made me so happy. Onward across the street to Aqua City Mall. Multiple collaborations appear at this location with regular broadcasts by the members, a stamp rally, restaurant menus, and a Tokimeki winter pop-up shop. Now, to address my poor planning. The weekend I went was Culture Day weekend, meaning the plethora of culture festivals you see in the anime were being held. I thought people, especially kids, would be busy with that. Nope. So many students, from elementary to high school, were at Odaiba that day, creating long lines across several storefronts. Especially Ramen Alley, which I had to skip because the lines went into the hallway with so many students and chaperones. It was crazy, but an insightful experience to learn they have field trips to explore the culture of their area called Shugaku Ryoko, which sometimes appear in anime. A more recent but lavish example is Masumune-kun's Revenge R having theirs in Paris. I bring this up here because this isn't going to be the last time I experience it. Thus, leaving me with the Christmas pop-up shop, which is located on, where? I read it was on the 3rd floor, but I went around everywhere looking for this damn shop. I could not find it, but I at least crossed off several girls in their Santa outfits as standees around the mall, especially Setsuna. Eventually, I found it randomly because it was off in the corner overlooking the movie theater, which featured the upcoming film. From here, I bought an Autumn Setsuna wire charm, 2 random can badges that were Mia and Emma, a Santa Setsuna stand, and a wall scroll. My buyer's bonus were Autumn cards of Shizuku and Mia. Wow, so many Mias. I wonder if that'll be a pattern. Oh, and Yu is hiding behind the shop. How sneaky of you. Fine. I'll leave the puns to I. Okay, I'll stop. It was amazing to see the area packed full of adoration for the girls, but I must continue onward. To continue celebrating Love Live's 15th anniversary, they announced a Fan Fun Festival, where several amusement parks partner with a specific group for a couple weeks. Favorite songs would blast throughout the parks, while key attractions would play songs as park goers enjoyed the ride. Plus, limited edition merch and menu items would appear inside. Now, they spread out the events over months to allow people to visit each one, as well as covering the entire country to provide locals a chance to experience it instead of traveling far away. Meaning when I went, I had to take a Shinkansen to Sendai to visit Yanagiyama Benyland starring Leela. Thankfully, I plan to visit Lapras and Rifu the same day, making this train worth it as they're only a few minutes apart. I want to shout out my friend who purchased my ticket for me in advance, as I didn't want it to be sold out by the time I arrived. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Now, I didn't plan to ride any attractions because I am quite husky and wouldn't want to cause any issues with the staff. Instead, I focused on chowing down on some food, shopping at the merch room, and doing the number rally. My first stop was the cafe stand as I traveled from Rifu and needed something to eat. I bought synchronized fries and solid cola. The fries were covered in 5 separate sauces to represent each member of the group. and I felt like I was doing an actual task in Taskmaster trying to identify each condiment. The first one reminded me of many restaurants' secret sauce, which suggests a variant of Worcestershire sauce. Then red was ketchup and the white mayo. Yellow I couldn't quite determine as it felt like mustard, but not. It felt generic with a bland taste. Finally, the green one threw me through a loop. I thought it was going to be wasabi, something I never had as I don't like spicy things, but it was surprisingly cool. It wasn't minty, but felt like it refreshed my breath. I had no idea, but searching it up suggests sauce verte, but it looks nothing like it. The condiment is transparent with specks of seasoning, so if you know what it is or want to hazard a guess, throw it down in the comments below. Meanwhile, the solid cola was not what I was expecting. I imagined a Slurpee-esque drink, but it was cola with frozen strawberries inside. So, strawberry cola. I enjoyed it and found the frozen fruit refreshing after walking so much. Plus, the purchase of each item gave you a random coaster, where I got you alongside Kaho and Ginkgo. Afterwards, I went straight to the back of the park as that is where the Love Live merch shop was, while the gift shop for the park itself is at the entrance/exit. I purchased a clear file showcasing every girl in their group t-shirts, a random mini banner of my second favorite Leela member, Bren, an acrylic stand featuring Katchu, Nico and Sayaka stands, and the Leela Fan Fun Fest t-shirts. Finishing this side quest meant I could begin my hunt for the numbers rally. Of course, I jotted down some that I saw on my way in, but I enjoyed searching for each number. Most felt logically placed around an attraction, and I made sure to snap photos to remind myself of them. It felt nice exploring the park as some stands are stationed in less traveled paths, like when I stumbled upon a shrine randomly at the park, which is actually quite common that many places have shrines inside of them, even stores. Additionally, I enjoyed the layout of the banners featuring every member. Each group was together but in different sections of the park, like Leela leading up to the Ferris wheel. It made the park feel like a shrine in itself dedicated to the Love Live series, especially with the music blaring all around, which featured the second opening of each series. While the first 20 numbers were easy, I struggled to find the last few numbers, so I stopped at the arcade to do another promotion. They had a Garapon that dropped a ball from a wheel featuring each character. Depending on its color, you got a prize. Now, I had large sums of cash as I was told Japan wasn't cashless, but the person operating it didn't have enough change, so I had to reduce my number of plays. I'm not blaming the staff as many locations I visited on my trip asked to have exact change due to a shortage of 100 yen coins, and I wasn't prepared. Anyway, I scored a Kinako clear card and an invitation card featuring a photo of the group. A cute memorabilia item, I am glad to have one to remember this trip, reminding me that a huge purpose of it was for Love Live. It reinvigorated me enough to continue my search for the number cards, where I walked the park 3 times looking for the last few because I could not figure out their location. So, I had to take a different approach. I remembered the map they handed visitors when first entering and went to see if there was an attraction I missed. There were 26 rides with 25 numbers on the rally page, making me think it had to be at one I didn't visit. And then I noticed something. A path split off from the roller coaster to behind the food stand I didn't check. Some of the signs were behind the fences of the rides, so I was looking for those but didn't spot the last one until I went on this path and found it. Funnily enough, it features my favorite Muse member Nico alongside the third tiers. Now, with all numbers in hand, I went back to the start and correlated them with hiragana symbols to create a message. Kokoro ga hazumu tanoshii omatsuri, which basically means a fun and exciting festival. After handing over the secret message, I was rewarded with a sparkly sticker, thus concluding my visit to Love Live Fan Fun Fest in Benyland, because I also went to the one in Tokyo Dome City. Yep, I visited the Muse collaboration as well, and this one wasn't a cakewalk. While there is a theme park designated for Tokyo Dome City, many areas exist around the perimeter that contain spots for the numbers rally. A shopping mall, a cafe area, a water park, a stage show, a concert hall. I've got plenty of ground to cover. I hurried to the park counter to pick up my commemorative tickets and rally form. Alongside my tickets, I got a free ride voucher, so I decided to use it on the Pixie Cups featuring Angelic Angel. one of the promotional songs for the school idol movie, I had not heard the song in a while, so I enjoyed reminiscing as I swirled around. That wasn't the only thing I rode, as I got to enter the Big O. Not the one from the anime, but a Ferris wheel overlooking Tokyo Dome City. Each trip lasts 15 minutes, so you can play songs or sing karaoke while gazing below, with the theme being the second season's ending theme, Donna Tokimo Zutto. It was amazing to see Tokyo from above with an expansive outlook. Also, if you're wondering why there are so many people down there, it is for the Fruit Zippers concert. Thousands of fans lined up early to buy merch or trade items, and I had to avoid them while perusing the park. After that, I got a commemorative photo. They take a picture of you and try to sell it to you on the way out, and I thought I would get it to cherish this moment. Now, to harness my inner Yuma Tsukumo and capture all the numbers for the rally again. I already found a few, but it was more difficult than in Benyland. As I mentioned before, there are multiple areas spread across the arena itself, so you're covering a circle with multiple pathways. Plus, the decorations seem haphazardly placed. Every single banner appeared in the central plaza where people could relax, but the standees and numbers seemed entirely random, like Nico was alone in a hallway connecting two zones. He wasn't the only one because the numbers were hidden in a similar manner. I found a number in an underground walkway connecting the theater with the attractions, and I had to resort to using hints on the Twitter account to find the rest. The Aqua third years appeared in the coin locker passage I entered through when first arriving, but I couldn't find it for the life of me. Turns out, it was along the railing, but I didn't know because there were long lines for the bathroom directly across from it, and people blocked my view of it. Man, all this walking is making me hungry. Time to enter the snack zone. Compared to a single stand at Benyland, Tokyo Dome City spreads out the menu items where different locations on the campus have a unique collab item. Originally, I wanted the BB French toast due to Nico being a part of the group, but every time I tried searching for it on Google, it would try to send me to one 20 kilometers away. Apparently, it was behind the location I actually went to, which was Miripote, where I ordered Hanayo's green curry rice fries. Wow, Grace, picking another spicy item on the menu when you just said you don't like spicy food. Sue me. I enjoyed the food even though it was slightly warm, but something I could deal with. And I think the white pellets are popped rice. They looked like seeds to me, but tasted similar to popcorn instead of Rice Krispies. With some rejuvenation, I searched high and low for the last few members, and I struggled. At this point, I was already there for 6 hours and walked 10 miles, and wanted to be over with it. Looking at comments online, people said some are hidden or in spots you wouldn't expect. I tried to rationalize how most of the numbers still remained around the attractions, and was surprised some weren't near the titular collaboration rides. Well, turns out there is another way to enter the rides. Since the park covers multiple floors, elevators exist for those with medical issues or children in strollers. I kept using the stairs and didn't bother using them as I didn't want to block anyone's access for them, as well as it felt like the numbers would be near parts with the most traffic. Well, I was wrong. A few of them were off in corners at these other entrances, meaning I finally collected all of the numbers. And look at that. The Muse third years were the last one again. Nico truly is a ninja. After deciphering the message to reveal Egao ga Atsumaru Yume no Matsuri, which means a dream festival where smiles gather, I received my sparkly sticker to add to the collection. The goal was next to the merch shop, but most of it was sold out. I think since it was the last weekend and that Muse is probably the most popular alongside Tokyo having many citizens in one location, made it easy to sell stuff, compared to traveling to Sendai, which had many merch varieties. I bought stands of Setsuna and Ren, and the Muse-themed t-shirt. Not only that, the minigame had only C prizes remaining, the clear cards. I thought I would still spin, and luckily pulled my one true pairing with Nico and Maki. Let's go! Overall, while Tokyo Dome City had many attractions, shops, and restaurants, finding the numbers made it difficult compared to the smaller Benyland. I still feel like the numbers and standees should have been placed appropriately, like how a Nijigasaki one was at the Boom Boom Bee ride since they released a song titled that. Anyway, let's continue on with my next adventure. Alright, I've been to the homeland of Muse in Nijigasaki, traveled to a festival celebrating the A.L.A.N, which means we have to visit one more group's hometown before doing a marathon to celebrate the movie. If you're a fan of Love Live, then you know the next stop is the fishing towns dedicated to Aqua, Numazu and Uchiura. I arrived on the Tokaido line, which just so happened to be collaborating with Aqua at the station shop. I picked up an exclusive clear file featuring the station and attendant artwork on either side, as well as Ruby and Kanon acrylic stands, my two favorite girls of Aqua. Immediately stepping out of the station greets me with a billboard featuring images of the first ending, while the streets line with banners, posters, and iconography symbolizing the group. Being in the area truly felt like the school idols revitalized this fishing town. Something I should mention is I came the day after GMO-I ended, an event celebrating the love for the town. I could clock many fans with their clothing and bags having identifiers to say they probably came here for the event. Plus, the event may have contributed to the town's decorations. Immediately I went to Numazu Gamers, which the mascot Yohane crosses out to write Numazers, as they have a similar phonetic spelling. Here I purchased a Final Live Ruby plush, which filled the shelf as the only one there, plus a Gamer's Special Astronomer set where I bought Ruby and randomly got Chica, alongside a sign to feature her, with a buyer's bonus of Yo and Yohane cards. However, what I really wanted to get was the stamp book, as many businesses contain stamps to fill the pages. Stamps are everywhere in Japan, whether it be rallies on trains or theme parks, or even goshuin from shrines. They serve as a reminder when you visit these locations. As you can see, I filled several pages, but the ink didn't stick on most, as they have signs saying to securely close the ink tray. After this, I checked into my hotel, which also focuses on Love Live. Hotel Trend contains decorations in the lobby and stickers of the characters at the front entrance. My reason for selecting this hotel is because I watched videos on visiting this location beforehand, and one from Ginger Gaiden mentioned this hotel as something fans regularly stay at. I decided to rest for the remainder of the day, as tomorrow will be packed with a bunch of activities. That is something else I should say. People recommend staying at least 2 nights if you visit Numazu and Uchiura to get a great experience. One day might leave you wanting more. In the morning, I knew I wanted to visit many spots from the anime and used a fan-curated map listing the locations with the episode they appear in. While some footage will be shown here, I display the locations in my Seichi Junri video that you can watch on my channel with timestamps specifically for Numazu and Uchiura. But that doesn't mean I focus solely on that. I went to the port, which contained many shops and stamps, where I stumbled upon Yo and Yoshiko manhole covers on my way there. I remember seeing them painted when they first appeared, and searching Google shows that they were, but years of wet weather probably tarnished them. My first stop was Numazu Burger, where I ordered their namesake that I greatly enjoyed. As I mentioned in the pilgrimage video, the day I went was the last day they were open, and I had no knowledge about it. Apparently, the parent company that owns several businesses in Numazu went bankrupt and forced the businesses to close. Supposedly, they remained open for the fans visiting for GMO-I and announced their closure afterwards. When I learned this, it upset me greatly, as I wish I could have cherished my time there more. I knew there were notes on the map I was using about places that shut down or changed, but to have it happen right before my eyes was gut-wrenching. Maybe they'll reopen it in the future so fans can experience this delicacy. No time for crying, because after eating, I went to eat again. Inside the fishing market lies multiple varieties of seafood. Personally, I am not a connoisseur of marine wildlife, but I didn't mind snacking on a coelacanth pancake, a sweet snack reminding me of French toast as it was powdered with sugar and easy to eat. Plus, I drank their mysterious deep sea tea, which tasted slightly earthy but heavy on sweetener. I believe it would be early grey with lemon added. As I consumed my order, I examined the various autographs on display from various personalities, and of course, they had ones from Daya, Ruby, Yoshiko, and Yo. I believe the latter 3 visited during their YYY release, and Ruby is the stamp at the store due to her association with coelacanths. Side note, but I would routinely listen to the Aqua CDs on my way to school, and each one had audio dramas, and I always remembered Ruby saying Shira Kanzu, very fitting in my opinion. After this, I visited a couple more spots from the anime before jumping on a bus to visit the second town of Aqua, Uchiura. My stop is immediately outside of the Sannomiya Info Center, a building housing Aqua memorabilia inside and out. It even has the designs for each stamp hanging at the entrance. Being here felt like someone's personal Aqua museum for all to see, yet it serves as a travel destination to answer tourists' questions. Maybe even grab a drink from the cafe car outside its doors. Situated near a park, the Aqua Kitchen car provides customers a drink based on their favorite girl and a special coaster year-round, only changing locations for events like concerts. Of course, I had to order one based on Ruby, which is a fizzy bubblegum drink. I don't think I've chewed gum in years, but it did bring me back to the flavored toothpaste I had as a kid. From here, I explored the city to visit spots from the franchise before walking in a tunnel to visit Mito Beach. I remember when the series first teased Aqua, with Chica first, followed by the rest of Aqua. People debated if they were to pass Muse or if they wanted Muse to continue instead of getting a new group taking the spotlight. While I am somewhat adverse to change, I welcome these girls with open arms and wanted to see them shine. So, being here on Mito Beach is breathtaking. Many fans wrote Aqua in the sand, just like in the anime, and I followed suit by doing it myself. This made me feel connected with the girls, as if I was retracing their steps, not only by visiting here, but every spot I ventured to on my trip. Before I departed, I stepped inside the inspiration for Chika's house, Yasudaya Ryokan, which is across the street of Mito Beach. I read positive reviews of people's experience staying there, so I thought the owner would welcome me inside. I was only going to get the stamp and try to snap a photo if allowed, but the moment I went in, he asked if I had a reservation. I said no, and then he turned me away. I left, but was confused about this as everything I read suggested they were welcoming. After this trip, I did a search about others' experiences and found some accounts of the owner turning away non-customers during the final live. So it appears they only allow travelers staying at their inn to visit it as a pilgrimage site. Even though I was downtrodden with this news, I returned back to Hotel Trend to rest before moving on to the next leg of my trip. Time to start our Nijigasaki movie tour in the Kansai region, covering Osaka, Kyoto, and Kobe. I woke up bright and early to watch the first screening at Namba Park Cinema, one of the few chains where you don't need a Japanese phone number to reserve a seat days in advance. When I got there, people were lined up outside the elevators featuring Mamoru Hosoda's Scarlet, premiering in a couple weeks. The theater wasn't open yet, and moviegoers wanted to buy the theater-exclusive merch, just like me. Friends advised me in advance that stuff can sell out quickly because theater shops are small and don't restock frequently. Thus, once I got in, I hurried into line where I got a clear file set featuring the teaser and each girl in their performance attire, a small towel and pin set of the logo, a random can badge of I, a random trading stand of Lanzu, and miraculously got the last stand of Setsuna alongside Karin. Now, the stands here weren't for the second movie, but the first, so I'm glad I at least got something. Then I got 6 movie cards featuring chibi designs as a buyer's bonus. Additionally, they sold a popcorn set coming with a glitter bag featured here and inside a random clear card, which I got I. The final thing I got before going to see the movie is a special gift. In Japan, they provide different gifts every week to promote repeated viewings. The first week was a shikishi board featuring one of the girls, and I got Emma. She isn't one of my favorites, but I'm not complaining, especially since it came with a random scene from the movie and I got one focusing on Setsuna. Now, if you want to hear my thoughts on the movie, that will be at the end of this video. You can jump to the time skip below if you want to know what happens in my analysis. Until then, I will travel to the next spot. To celebrate the release of the film, which appears as a tourism advertisement, several campaigns were created with different businesses and locations, including exclusive merchandise and experiences. Since I was in the neighborhood, I knew I had to visit as many of these as I could, with my first one being the building featured in the teaser visual and movie itself, Umeda Sky Garden. Over 40 stories tall, this observation deck allows visitors to scan the horizon of Osaka. At night, the floor turns into a glowing starry sky pattern, but I went in the day to avoid peak times. Inside the deck were standees in special dresses referencing the stellar design and a merch shop. Unfortunately, they didn't receive a shipment of the Setsuna clear cards, so I got a mini acrylic stand, a regular stand, and key charm featuring the new designs of Setsuna, with the buyer's bonus being exclusive postcards. Another feature of Umeda Sky Garden is to purchase a lock that you can engrave and lock on the railing, which characters do in the movie. Unfortunately, they didn't put up a pre-order page until the day before, so I reserved a ticket a couple days prior thinking it was just buying a regular one. Nope. The locks have special designs referencing the characters and I had a separate order. Instead, I got a regular one featuring my name alongside my mom's in memory of her. I took it home with me as I felt it would be more sentimental that way. Something I didn't do is the quiz rally, where you buy a ticket to take AR photos and receive a quiz from a character about that location. It covered Osaka, Kyoto, and Kobe. But, like with the train stamp rally, the prize for answering them all would be shipped later, so I declined to do it. Before I departed Osaka, I did visit Abeno Haruka's where they had a collab in Shibuya 109. The theme was Chinese Zodiac, where each member represented a different animal. I don't know if they accurately covered each girl, as I feel like Setsuna shouldn't be the monkey, and Ayumu should have been the rabbit. But I agree with Kanata being the sheep, and Lanzu being the dragon for obvious reasons. Either way, I got a wooden spoon featuring Setsuna on the handle, played a gachapon to receive a Shioriko cube stand, an acrylic stand of Setsuna, a random glossy shikashi of Miya, and a Setsuna with Pochoko glass coaster. Now, some may call me lucky, but I don't know, as I bought 2 random Enka charms that were from the same pile, back to back, and both were Kasumi. How does that happen? The buyer's bonus were 3 bromides featuring Ayumu, Rina, and Kanata. I did consider getting a Shizuku item as I am a rooster, but felt like I was spending enough money on things, which you may see with the next location of Kyoto. My trip to Kyoto was hectic. I reserved a seat on a Shinkansen but missed it because I could not navigate Shin Osaka Station for the life of me, forcing me onto an unreserved car, where I planned to visit Yanagiyama Kanon, a shrine working with Nijigasaki, but had to cancel that. Instead, I visited Kyoto Station, where Setsuna performed her song Burn, and you can see that footage in my pilgrimage video, marking this as the last time I reference it. Inside the station, I walked to the tourist center to grab a tourism map, but they didn't have any. Around the corner from the tourist center was a pop-up shop selling Japan Airlines merch, collabing with Nijigasaki to travel to each city. Here, I purchased a clear file of the girls and Holmes attire for the quiz rally. I got the Osaka one thinking it was Kyoto. Plus, a random can badge featuring Karin, my second favorite of Nijigasaki, then a Setsuna key holder, an acrylic stand, and sticker featuring this special costume, with a hand towel to top it all off. Concluding the visit to Kyoto. I did more here, but the stuff I planned around Love Live had to be pushed off due to the train fiasco. Sometimes on trips you have to prepare for the unexpected and shuffle things around. I wish I could have done more, but that is how it goes sometimes. Thankfully, our final destination offered plenty of experiences. Kobe, the maritime center of Japan, most infamous for its beef. These features do appear in the movie, but don't get a primary focus, which is a shame as there is plenty to do in Kobe. To begin my day, I traveled to the Sannomiya Center Animate, which appears in the film where Setsuna geeks out about the latest release of Flame Sword Princess. Yet, that scene where Setsuna geeks out is real, and the store offers a pop-up theater to recreate it with the movie poster. A highlight of my experience, as I love when businesses display the dedication to promotions like these. The girls went inside and purchased some things, meaning I had to do the same. Kobe Animate was quite huge, offering a wide variety of Love Live merch. First, a clear file featuring chibi designs of the movie tourism pamphlets, and Animate was doing a promotion for the film where the girls were stand-up comics, so I got a key charm randomly featuring Kasumi, she sure keeps popping up, and stickers of Kanata and Karin as gifts. Plus, I purchased the soundtrack for the movie, where it had 6 different designs based on the girls. As a bonus from Animate, I received a clear file containing the same design. Setsuna all the way. Continuing southwest of Sannomiya is Merriken Park, featuring a plethora of attractions. First, I stopped at the most notable, Port of Kobe Tower, a gigantic structure mirroring a lighthouse allowing tourists to visit the top. Funnily enough, as I approached the building, I saw many silhouettes peering out from above, thinking they must allow a bunch of people up there. Turns out, what I saw were stickers of the Nijigasaki girls from below. Of course, some were probably real people, but I mentally laughed upon this realization. But yes, the tower collaborated with the movie and features several spots referencing the series. Before we head down, look at this view. It is so stunning to see the ocean stretch far and wide, with ships cruising into the harbor. I savored my time up there before going down. Originally, I was going to go back to the first floor, but my curiosity got the better of me, thankfully. Directly below deck is a lobby-type area featuring standees of each girl in casual attire. I had to capture their beauty in video form. Alongside the railing contained directions on locations appearing in the film. You can even see the Sannomiya Animate I just visited. Additionally, they had commemorative plates of Naruto, Sugar Sugar Rune, and Space Brothers. The next floor is the Brilliance Museum, an interactive exhibit resembling Team Lab. Different rooms consisted of hearts and flowers on the floor, a wall you could paint, and lighting fireworks with your fingertips. But my favorite was a surprise I didn't expect. A disco room dedicated to Nijigasaki. Apparently the venue regularly changes rooms on each floor based on different events they hold, so I appreciate coming here and seeing the same love I have for the series. Now, the floor following the museum is the gift shop, but I'll say what I bought at the end, so I'm skipping to the exit level floor, which is Gallery 360, a scenic view of Kobe from all angles, while photos hang from above to provide atmosphere. As you can see, they had printed illustrations of scenes from the trailers to expand this event even further, and I enjoyed seeing high quality images on display. Now, the gift shop included autograph stands of Rina and Mia, showcasing the seiyuu visiting these locations to sign them personally, and I enjoy Mia's being in English, but it feels weird to reference Kyoto and Kobe. On the merch front, little variety existed as many were sold out by the time I visited and contained reruns from the first movie, so I purchased a clear file with the mini characters, 2 random keychains of Lanzu and Karin, and a beautiful Karin acrylic stand as well, since Setsuna wasn't there. Originally, it was just the charm and stand, but the cashier tried to tell me I needed 400 more yen for the buyer's bonus. I quickly understood her intention, but she told me to wait while she translated on her phone, and I felt bad about the whole thing. She was so kind and understood my visit pertaining to Love Live, meaning I did get a buyer's bonus featuring Rina in her casual wear from the standees earlier. Then outside the tower is the Ready Go Round Cafe, a takeout area to buy desserts and snacks after exploring the tower. In collaboration with the movie, they had colorful cola in either red or blue. Expecting it to be raspberry flavored cola, I bought the blue one to see what it tasted like, and, well, here's my reaction. I have no idea what that is. Feels like it's supposed to be blue cola. Maybe the cola that feels more like electric-y. Yeah, it packed a punch, and the best description I could say is it tasted citrusy. Maybe because I don't know how I missed it, but there is a goddamn lemon in the bag. Unlike other members of my family, I don't have a sweet tooth. I can enjoy sweet tastes, but some are too much for me to handle, like the blue colorful cola. Certainly, I drink it all while enjoying the sights of American Park, but not something I would personally rate highly. Leaving me with one final thing on the itinerary, the Kobe Cruise Concerto. A cruise ship which makes regular trips around the port of Kobe each day during specific time slots. I picked Twilight to see the sun setting and night view of the harbor with the Love Live collaboration tickets. However, days before my arrival, I received an email about how the ship will be busier than usual because over 200 students will board alongside me. Yep, the Shugaku Ryoko strikes again after experiencing it in Odaiba. It makes sense to sail out to sea and view the city you were raised in as a cultural experience. Personally, I didn't have a problem with it, but it made me feel isolated. To explain, there are 4 floors on the ship where each level designates a specific rank, such as Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, or Diamond, granting you access to a ballroom on the floor based on your ticket rank. From my experience, it seems the students were allowed in all rooms because many of them kept going up and down the stairs to see friends on different levels, congesting the boat. I want to make it clear I am not blaming the students or the staff, as it is supposed to be a memorable experience for them, but I just felt awkward in this situation, especially considering my reason for being there. I honestly think I was the only one there for Love Live because there were students dressed neatly in their uniforms and several couples adorned in black suits and stunning gowns. Then there was me, a foreign tourist backpacking across Japan taking a Love Live holiday. Truly a fish out of water moment, which was weird because we were out at sea. So I tried exploring the ship, but I don't think the ship prepared in advance because all I found acknowledging the event was a poster and sample displays of the gift shop. Plus, there's supposed to be a special menu to get a sailor uniform coaster, and I had no idea how to go about it. I just stared out at sea for an hour, already halfway through the cruise, confused about my next course of action. I am shy, introverted, and non-confrontational, so going up to a crew member felt overwhelming for me, especially since most of them were focused on tending to the students on board. I kept thinking I wouldn't purchase anything on the boat, and maybe I was supposed to be at the ticket reception back on land. Yet, deep down, I know my mother would push me to ask someone about it to at least have an answer, and I have to say, I wish I could have tipped this person 10,000 yen for their superb work in helping me, but tipping culture is frowned upon. When a staff member left an employee-only room, I stopped to ask for help and he did everything for me. He got me my meal, fried chicken and cola, which was surprisingly good given its appearance, but I wouldn't have doubted the cruise ship's cuisine. Then he secured items for me to purchase. In between each bout while helping other passengers, he would always check in with me to make sure I was fine, and I was impressed but felt bad at the same time. I felt like a passenger princess, but couldn't express my gratitude besides constant arigato gozaimasu. The best I can do is highly recommend Kobe Cruise, as it was an enjoyable experience with amazing staff. I'm sure day or night cruises are great in their own respect, but I think the Twilight one is best due to seeing both times at the harbor. Now, as for my purchases, I kept it small. I purchased a clear file featuring the girls and sailor outfits as well as the anime design of the ship on the back, then a special postcard to commemorate this trip, 2 random stands featuring Mia and I, and my random coaster being Mia. Man, it feels like this boat was dedicated to Mia, because it was, as the on and off boarding messages feature Shu Uchida speaking in English as Mia. With all the different messages I heard throughout my trip, I enjoyed the atmosphere it adds to the experience. And since I deboarded, it means I have one last event to touch upon.
The comic is currently collaborating with the movie RoundOne Nijigasaki High School Idol Club, the final chapter, Part 2. Please take a look around and enjoy the special.
On my last day in Japan, I knew I had to see the film one more time. I returned to the same theater, but for a different screening. Many theaters run films with the expectation that patrons will respectfully be quiet during the flick. Yet for series with heavy followings such as Love Live, they provide cheer screenings. During key moments, people can react audibly and cheer alongside them, especially in the case of idol movies where fans bring pen lights and signs to support their favorites. I didn't have a pen light with me, but I went for the experience, which reminded me of seeing the original School Idol movie in the US. People were decked out in idol attire or cosplay, bringing plushies and pen lights and holler during pivotal scenes. I missed this because I did not get to see Over the Rainbow, and chances seemed very unlikely to release the trilogy in theaters over here, even though they kept bringing it up at SakuraCon when I went, almost teasing a release. So, I sat in my seat, opened my gift to reveal Kanata, and watched the Nijigasaki movie for a second time. Following this is my analysis, which will contain spoilers. So if you don't want to watch any further, thank you for staying for as long as you have. I greatly appreciate it. If you want my general thoughts before departing, great movie, better than the first due to each character having a personal arc, whereas the first one appeared to focus on Ayumu and Lonzu. People don't like the art design of the film, but I believe it matched the music video aesthetic the direction was going towards. I recommend it even if you aren't a fan of Love Live. Alright, so this video took longer than I expected. Originally, I was going to reuse scenes from the trailers and TV anime, but the movie is out on Blu-ray, so I have footage of it. This analysis was created after seeing it in theaters, and you can see some things do not align with what I remember. Like, I legitimately thought it was a pink cat, but it was actually young Rina in a cat hoodie. Still, the heart of the message remains the same, so please enjoy. Let's get started. Due to both groups splitting up to cover Okinawa and Kansai, the film begins at the same time as the first, with everyone competing in the School Idol Grand Prix. After the girls react to Shizuku's live, Shioriko performs her entry on the steps of Sonnenzaka in front of Yasaka Pagoda. Beautiful imagery all around to celebrate Kyoto's history and Shioriko's tendency to wear kimonos regularly. It felt very fitting to her character. In her song, there is a moment where she is falling from the sky where she rips off her clothes, I believe in the order of kimono, school uniform, pajamas, and then the costume she performs in. To me, this demonstrated her different roles she fulfilled until deciding on pursuing the path of school idols. These parts of her character still exist as an honorable daughter, student council president, regular girl, and school idol, but explores her steps of reaching that decision. Alongside the phoenix motif, where she is inside an egg and bursts out as a phoenix, it felt like a sense of rebirth for her, which I'm sure is intentional. This stems from the OVA connecting the TV series to the movie Next Sky, which focuses on Shioriko struggling to determine her identity as a school idol, where ultimately it reflects her drive to support others, whether it be as student council president, an idol, or a regular human being. Carrying over into the film, we reach the apex of her character arc, where she is the one helping her friends in the club dealing with the tribulations of the film, such as Rina and Mia. Following Shioriko's performance, Mia's older sister Chloe Taylor appears to see Mia perform. After ditching the performance at the last second, Chloe confronts Mia about her holdup, where Rina suggests it is about family, since Mia's fear is not living up to the Taylor family name. Believing Mia is fixed now, Chloe states Mia will be going back to America where she can sing alone if she wants. Mia doesn't respond, and Rina thinks this is for the best. However, both of them are not speaking their true feelings on the matter, the crux of their issues. Mia locks her heart away, and Rina hides behind a mask, both blocking out their emotions, resulting in the hijacking of the School Idol Grand Prix. During Mia's test performance, Rina noticed lag in the app but didn't worry about it. After the ordeal with Chloe, Rina leaves the hotel and runs into the vice president, who ultimately decides who her Oshi is between Setsuna and Shioriko, funnily enough. After speaking with her, Rina manufactures drones and uses the lag to create a second entry as A.L.A.N, playing cheer mode on Dotonbori, a song that randomly appeared in our feeds months earlier. Fans and idols assume it is a song to amp up support to cheer them on, but towards the end, a random girl feels like it's more depressing. This is due to the lyrics referencing Mia as it is a message to her. Star You Chase references Mia's song in the anime, recontextualizing the song as not just something to support Lanzu, but Mia as well, as she believes she has to become a star like her family as a tailor. Since she has grown as a school idol, Rina believes Mia is really close to becoming a star, and should go with her family, explaining why A.L.A.N sings, even though Mia will not only be far away in America, but a giant star out of reach that she was chasing, finally catching it like a baseball, yet Rina will still support her, even though that isn't what she truly wants. She keeps saying it'll be alright, daijobu. Deep down, Rina doesn't want to let Mia go, as cheer mode references underlying emotions in brackets, such as her heart hurting. Although the song is intended to support Mia, Rina's true feelings begin to seep out. The Kansai girls understand immediately Rina is A.L.A.N as the School Idol Grand Prix goes offline to determine who hacked their system. As the song continues playing across Osaka, Mia identifies a clue in the lyrics as to where Rina is. Umeda Sky Garden. Mia dashes off from the hotel and arrives at the observation deck, fighting Rina as A.L.A.N. After speaking with Rina about her intentions, the Kansai girls along with Chloe appear as Mia begins to understand the pain in her own heart. Similar to Rina, she struggled to communicate her feelings with others. Even her big sister Chloe didn't know the reason Mia quit singing entirely when they were young, and all of a sudden returns to the profession after visiting Japan. Just like when Lanzu was leaving, Mia knew she can best communicate her emotions through music, beginning her offline entry of the School Idol Grand Prix with Like a Treasure. When I heard the brass in the back at the start, I knew I was in for a banger. The world needs more pop ska, and I am glad Mia Taylor represents it for the franchise, especially with America's pastime glorified in the music. Mia dons a baseball uniform as she chases a cat down the streets of Osaka. Obviously, the cat alludes to Rina, who Mia encounters at the end, ultimately what the title of the song references, a bond she treasures. Lyrics mention moments they share, like Mia slapping Rina's hand away and harsh words against Rina's desire to connect. Although negative, Mia blames her immaturity leading to these moments, apologizing and wishing to stand side by side with Rina. Additionally, the lyrics can reference both her sister Chloe, which the film displays their bond being tarnished after Mia getting stage fright, as well as the girls of Nijigasaki. It was them who ignited the sparks in her heart to become a school idol, leading her down a path of stardom in her own way, ultimately deciding through song on her decision to stay. Clearly referring to Rina's song, Stay concerns someone selfishly wishing an important person would remain near them, with that person being Mia in Rina's case. She pours out her feelings in song as she hides behind not only a mask, but her face she struggles to express emotions with. At the start, she stutters with her words, not quite clearly coming out, before transitioning to Rina's concern towards Mia until the torrential burst of her own feelings. Although Setsuna is my favorite, I relate the most with Rina as I have a resting bitch face, and people think I am angry or frustrated constantly, when that isn't the case. Although the games and TV series addresses Rina's mask in different ways, her arc remains the same, to connect with others without hiding her emotions, making it very poetic that this is the first song in the anime where she performs without her mask, Rina-chan bored, as Mia deactivated the A.L.A.N helmet after her performance to see Rina's true expression. Rina no longer needs to hide behind her mask, as she can honestly communicate her emotions through song, just like Mia. Together, Rina and Mia symbolize one's failure to communicate via a different avenue. They had to learn the best way to express themselves with what works for them. Both buried their emotions underneath, with a mask and in action, respectively, but displayed their true hearts via performances as school idols. The two used the bowl of Umeda Sky Garden as the stage, one of the highest points in the city, achieving a spot to catch stars on the illuminated floor below them. A fantastic connection is that Mia contains an open door holding a brilliant pink tree, which later appears in Rina's entry. I interpret this as Mia exposing her inner feelings to Rina, where Rina performs underneath the tree, accepting Mia's feelings, and their songs become connected due to their understanding of each other. Which leaves me with my final analysis of the two. Many Japanese songs use the language alongside English interchangeably, which can be seen in Rina's discography, but Mia's is inspired by English pop songs like Avril Lavigne and Britney Spears, with lyrics mostly in English. Yet, I believe the two characters try to communicate their feelings in the other person's language. Specifically, in Rina's case, Cheer Mode utilizes broken English, but gets her message to support Miya across well, where in Stay, the heart of her message is said in English, whether it be at the beginning with her struggling to get her words out, or at the end of the chorus displaying her intention, stay with me. Similarly, in Like a Treasure, Miya emphasizes her feelings in English at the start, but switches to Japanese, where she directly apologizes to Rina, indicating the song is meant for her. Changing to another language in this case also highlights Miya's growth since becoming a school idol, suggesting Nijigasaki impacted her greatly by coming to Japan and engaging in the culture. Therefore, I think the composers intentionally had the characters state their emotions in another language to demonstrate an understanding of that partner character. After both perform one after the other, they perform a ritual at the top of Umeda Sky Garden by securing a lock on the railing, symbolizing their love for each other that will never be broken, as the locks famously have no keys to open it, meaning once it's locked, it's there for good. Plus, there is a scene between the Taylor sisters where Miya confirms her feelings on staying in Japan a while longer, finally being open with her sister and living up to her expectations after experiencing fear of not doing so. And if you're wondering how Chloe got up there, that is Karin's responsibility. Similar to Kasumi in the first movie, Karin does not get a solo and supports the cast from the background, most notably talking to the antagonist of the movie. After witnessing Chloe's behavior towards Miya, she begins searching in Osaka and just so happens to get lost, a trait of hers. She does run into Himeno, which leads to a cute interaction between this ship. While I'm at it, the other School Idol Festival girls not appearing in the first film appear here. I admire the incorporation of them in the equivalent finale. Karin locates Chloe in a bathhouse, causing her to meet with the others at Umeda Sky Garden. There is a moment where Chloe asks Karin if she is fine doing this instead of performing, where Karin replies that now is not her time to shine on stage because the School Idol Grand Prix is cancelled. Yeah, due to Rina's hacking, Lanzu's mom and Chloe, who's an ambassador by the way, decided to cancel the event since it is unfair and unsafe, leaving many school idols who haven't got a chance to perform depressed, including Setsuna and I. Complementing Rina and Miya's theme on communication, Setsuna and I pertain to identity via inspiration. Setsuna gets hung up on a line Chloe says to Miya about being a school idol, where that isn't something you can do forever. School idols having a time limit based on their time as a student is a worry for many, as can be seen with the third years in both Muse and Aqua. Surprisingly, they bring up this topic again in the film where Setsuna dreads her remaining time as a school idol, believing there isn't much left for her. Instead of following the roots of Muse and Aqua, it focuses on Setsuna spending the rest of her school days as Setsuna. In the film, the girls visit Animate in Kobe, where Setsuna explains the origin of her idol persona, inspired by her favorite anime, Double Blade, where the main character has two identities. She uses her birth name Nana to be the student council president, while creating Setsuna as an idol who spontaneously performs to her fans. Quite literally mirroring Superman, where she wears glasses as Nana to hide her identity that no one notices, which is what the protagonist in Double Blade does as well. Thus, Setsuna is something she manufactured but doesn't want to let go, since it is a part of her, especially since she believes her Grand Prix entry might be her last performance ever, which crushes her when the event is cancelled, making her feel she truly can't be Setsuna ever again. Here is where Ai enters the picture, as she purchases Double Blade to watch alongside learning about Setsuna. This moment deepens their relationship, but Ai feels like she can't do anything for anyone after the event's cancellation. Speaking with Shioriko guides Ai on how to inspire Setsuna, as she is the one who inspired Ai in the first place with her performance of Dive, leading Ai to say the final line of the trailer that Setsuna is a real hero to her, taking off her glasses and slowly turning rain into sunshine. At this moment, Ai inspires Setsuna on her decision, which is revealed when both Setsuna and Ai hijack the airwaves with everyone's help to perform their offline entries. Taking center stage at Kyoto Station, Setsuna bursts out with Burn, an upbeat pop song erupting with her passion. The lyrics mention Setsuna about to shut the door on being a school idol, until Ai reminds her about the greatness of them, leading to emotions rising up with heated determination, referencing her love for and as a school idol. This is supported by Ai, who backs the vocals, both inspiring each other in song, as Setsuna backs Ai's song as well. Ultimately, Setsuna decides to continue being Setsuna and living life as a school idol. The scene where Ai takes off Nana's glasses reaffirms this, displaying how crucial the visuals are. On my second viewing, I noticed the intro showed scenes of Nana in different locations interspersed with Setsuna training. At the video's end, I believe all of the locations shown were where Nana was located, but they are now empty. Following this is imagery of a meteor burning up in the sky, extinguishing its flame at the end, meaning Burn is about the death of Nana and rebirth of Setsuna. Her decision is to live as Setsuna, the school idol, which I heavily relate with. For context, during the initial teasers of Nijigasaki, I made a video detailing that Setsuna is trans or cross-dressing due to clues suggesting it. No one has ever seen Setsuna in class, not knowing if she even attends the school, and she doesn't like health class. Now we know she is the student council president, hiding she's a school idol, but at the time, people were inclined to that theory until the actual reveal. So, when Setsuna's arc is deciding between which identity to choose, I was awestruck, making the connection to the earlier theory and my feelings for Setsuna as my favorite of Nijigasaki because as a trans woman, I found it relatable. To clarify, this isn't saying Setsuna is trans-coded or an allegory, but the tribulations of staying true to an identity over another and in turn discarding one is similar to the trans experience. Even the song indicates this theme of breaking free, wings spreading, and to move forward. Yet, there is an important component missing. It repeatedly mentions someone where that individual gave them life, clearly speaking about Ai. Radiating on top of the port of Kobe Tower, Ai performs Circle of Love as the grand finale to the film, a song representing the cycle of affection that constantly spreads to others, circling back in return. An idol song reaches a fan, and then a fan's support reaches the idol, a transactional circle that appears in the film with a side character who happens to be shy at the karaoke event, where Ai encourages her to join in, and before her final performance, that same girl shows her die-hard love for Ai, but it is best represented between Ai and Setsuna. That line about Setsuna being Ai's hero emerges from the performance of Dive in the first season. In that moment, a blazing school idol inspired Ai to pursue the same path, where their fates intertwined to support one another when they needed it most. This theme persists in the music video where Ai is a traveling musician. Many shots of Kobe appear with Ai in dynamic poses or jamming out with her guitar, appearing as a transient looking for a big break. Soon arriving are the girls of Nijigasaki and Suits walking by, with Setsuna noticing Ai and reaching her hand out, offering Ai the chance to become like her. It is a poignant moment considering how Ai first arrived due to Setsuna's influence, where she breaks out into the chorus and ends it with a high kick. The significance wasn't lost on me because that is how Setsuna ends Dive, even in live performances, which makes me hopeful that Na-chan will perform a kick at the 8th live. Additionally, there are quick glimpses of a shooting star in the background. While it is metaphorically referring to Nana burning out, it becomes a sign for Ai to reach out for the stars, to become a school idol like Setsuna. Something else to note is Ai loves puns, utilizing them in her songs frequently. Her name meaning love makes it very easy to create wordplay, which I believe is the case in Circle of Love. When she sings Aishiteru, it normally means I love you, but can have an alternative reading of I am I, or I am me. Accompanied by lyrics wishing to echo and resound, it sends a message about being yourself. Not only about Ai, or any fan that is hearing it, but Setsuna as well. Someone who recently decided to devote herself as Setsuna, and Ai is displaying her support, especially when she concludes the song with Aiseru, turning a phrase from the feeling of loving something into loving being herself, where she ends with ah, and Setsuna echoes that sentiment, agreeing as ah can mean yes. This is only heard in the movie version, where both girls overlap, but Setsuna extends, completing the Circle of Love as Setsuna inspired Ai inspired Setsuna, and both inspired school idols and fans everywhere, because after their vigilante performances, both Nijigasaki and Festival begin performing to continue the festivities into the night. In the end, both girls represent inspiring others and being themselves, a key component to being a school idol, leading to the climax of the film. Seeing the huge response from the spontaneous school idol festival, and after speaking with Rina about the technological mishaps, Lonju's mom and Chloe announced the reinstatement of the school idol Grand Prix, with the final round being held in, where else but Tokyo, ending the film with a roster lined up to tease who will win the tournament, leaving me thoroughly impressed with this film compared to the first. Obviously, I shouldn't pit them against each other as they work together as a trilogy, but I enjoyed the more personal moments of the second film, as it felt each character reached the conclusion of their arc. The first was fun in Okinawa, but appeared to showcase the location while setting up the School Idol Grand Prix. Only Ayumu and Lonzu received major character development, so I am glad I got to see this film while in Japan, and loved every minute of it. Something else to note is that they alternate the final image of the ending song, where the first week had Yu, and the second week had Shioriko. Now, what are my predictions for the final film? Well, like many other predict, since Kasumi and Karin didn't receive a solo, they will obviously get one. While it would be nice to have all characters receive a new song, those two didn't in the first two films, suggesting that they will be the focus. However, if they follow the same pattern of 6 songs, I can honestly see Ayumu getting another one as leader, then maybe 2 group songs. Since the film will be set in Tokyo, there's a lot of ground to cover. I do think we will see the characters perform at important locations to them, but not necessarily them doing a whole music video, such as Setsuna and Akihabara due to her love of anime and games, and Karin and Shibuya or Harajuku due to her modeling career. As for the plot of the film, given the teaser shows Yu, I think it will focus on her, Ayumu, Kasumi, and Karin, as this appears to be their last year together. I do not know the overall conflict of the film, but I do think the winner of the School Idol Grand Prix will be Kasumi. Early in Perfect Dream Project, there is only one poll to determine the center for a music video, with the winner being Kasumi, featuring her performing on Rainbow Bridge. I definitely think this will appear in the film with a remixed version after she wins. It plays out almost as an underdog story, as Kasumi is heavily downplayed in the series, and the film concludes with a song performed by all members of the Nijigasaki High School Idol Club, with Yu composing the song. It may appear safe, but I think this is the most likely scenario. Thus concluding my Love Live holiday. I had to rush back to my hotel, pick up my luggage, and catch my flight. The last thing I did in Japan was watch the film for a second time, capping it off with the series I hold so dear. Something I should mention is that the shikishi I received was Kanata, who isn't my favorite along with Emma. As I left the theater, I spotted someone with a Kanata charm on their backpack. I stopped them and asked if they wanted to trade for my Kanata, and they happily agreed because they were going to wait outside and see if anyone else had one. I received his Rina, which I didn't mind, and we spoke a bit. He recently flew in from Thailand, unsure if the film would screen in their country, and I shared how I attended some of the collaboration events like the Kobe Cruise as a recommendation. We went our separate ways after that, so if you somehow found this video, I am the girl from Seattle. But that is one thing I enjoyed seeing about my trip. In the myriad of locations I visited, I noticed fans from the series all around. Seeing others beside myself appreciating the same sights and experiences made me feel comfortable in a foreign land. Many travelers visit for different reasons, so seeing others doing the same as me felt gratifying. Even though there is discussion that Love Live is dead elsewhere, seeing fans from other countries here displays the reach the series has, leaving me with the overall message for this trip. Friends, guides, and random posters on Reddit repeatedly said to build your trip with a theme in mind. While I partook in other activities such as visiting a Reborn exhibit, meeting my favorite Pokemon, and doing anime pilgrimages, the main focus of this trip was my favorite anime series of all time. Even though there were bumps along the road, I found myself happy at the end of the trip due to focusing on the various events you saw in this video. So, thank you Love Live for such a memorable trip. Thank you to my family for helping make this journey come true, and thank you, dear viewer, for watching all the way through.